What's up, guys? Back in today with more Kaijuu number 8, this time with episode 7 of part 2. It was a good episode last week, just kind of leading us into a bit of a new storyline here with the white-haired character. Forget his name because it's been so long, so apologies, but he's going to be quite a big focus now that he is inheriting Kaijuu number 6, I think it is. And it was really interesting kind of meeting between those two and the kind of seeing him trying to adapt to it. We're going to be focusing on this dude. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. Do you know what? He really, like, you cut his body off, he kind of looks like a Kaijuu, to be honest. He's got a Kaijuu face. And now you're just an extra in the anime Kaijuu number 8. You're just a background character with seemingly very little hope of being anything more than that. On behalf of this redhead guy's side of things, there's not really much promising, is there? Not too many prospects. It reminds me of, like, I mean, you see it a lot in sports, like people go from like a good team to a top team and they're just like another one of the players, whereas in their smaller team they were the big dog, the big game player, the star. I've done something similar to that as well. Like I used to when I played football, I still play it, but when I used to play youth football, I had a couple good seasons playing up front, scored a lot of goals, and then I moved to a better team, and then I think that kind of hindered me a little bit. I thought that would help me, and I thought that'd be better for me, but in actuality, I think that actually hindered me a little bit going to a better team because I never one of the players, and end up taking a few steps back rather than the steps forward I wanted to take. So it's not always brighter on the other side. So maybe this guy should hope he's not too big a character in the series because he's probably got more chance of getting killed if he is. Some dinosaur kaijus here. I mean, most of the kaijus are very dinosaur-like in general, but these ones more than usual. And a pretty handy spot as well. That's just like a test. Okay. Damn, we got this far. I'm just gonna try out the whole suit. What happened? I didn't skip something during the intro, did I? We just went from last episode to this. Seems like a bit of a jump now. It's been a month. But that's the thing. When you get to those higher levels, it does inevitably slow down because there's not too much more to go. When you start out from the bottom, of course you're gonna grow at a faster rate. Maybe that's also something that I could have known. That situation I mentioned earlier. The improvements and such wouldn't be as apparent. A little bit competitive. Makes sense with what we just saw. That's ice based. Did we know that before now? I don't remember that. I think this is like quite an interesting point. I haven't seen Shin Godzilla nor Godzilla -1, which I've heard are both really good. And again, I don't know anything about the movies, but I expect they're probably rated so good because, especially from what -1 looks like, they actually do a good story with the characters. I think that's always a point of this is the point I was going to bring up here. With the Godzilla movies, especially back in the day, you just want loads of Godzilla action. You want to see loads of fun fighting, and again, the people in pursuits and cheesy goodness. But there's the people that want that, like just that kind of action and such. Then you got the people who are like the critics and such that actually want like a good storyline, some good human characters. And again, I imagine that's why -1 and Shin Godzilla. Again, not that I know anything about them because I haven't watched them, but I imagine that's why they're so highly regarded. And it's the case of like those people that want all the action. They don't care about no stupid human kind of storyline. They want to see like the big action, the big creatures and such. So it's kind of like this, like the redhead guy. People might find it quite boring because he's just like this insignificant human with again no prospects of ever reaching any of the levels of anything we see, especially in the last arc. However, you kind of need that human side. I feel like you need that kind of stuff in them. Like again, I haven't seen them, but I'd probably really enjoy -1 and Shin Godzilla probably more than a lot of the Godzilla movies I've seen. Although again, sometimes you can't beat like late like 70s 60s cheesiness. So that aspect I absolutely love about the old Godzilla movies, but yeah, just on like a maybe objective scale, I think you need your human, because otherwise, what's the point of having any characters in a show if you're just gonna focus on the big fights and the big guys? You need these small guys to just really give you a good perspective of things, and yeah. It's like I can see people calling this like filler, like this character right here. I mentioned earlier how he's got like no prospects. I can see people say that, oh, well, this is pointless showing this guy because he's not going to be a major part of anything. But again, you need this perspective. Well, to be honest, I think she was always way in front of you. This is also something I've experienced. I went to trials for my county when I was like 15, and I'd done really well on the first trial. I scored, I think, 3 goals in 3 games. I scored in 2 of the games. We had 3 games, but I scored 3 goals in 3 games overall, and I played really well. Now I got invited back for the final trial, and just realised, yeah, wow, I'm at my depth. I thought I was really good that first one. I did play well, but then as you see here, you see real quality, real talent, and you're like, well, shit. And I played terrible in that second one. You weren't useless. You done your bit. From that angle, he's almost a little bit reminiscent of what's his bloody name? It'll come to me in a minute. Chuck a tree at you. So this might be a very unpopular opinion, but I've never been a massive fan of ice powers in anime. I can't ever really recall many that I've loved or really liked. None are like coming straight to my head. Because at the end of the day, you're making something not move. You're freezing something in place. I mean, I do really like what's his name from One Piece, but that's more so for the character, less so his ability or abilities. But yeah, just like that's like the complete anti to what you want. You want to see something really fast paced and moving, loads of movement um and awesome stuff like that. But just in essence, freezing stops things, so it makes it less interesting. is my kind of logic behind that. And maybe games also does it a bit of disservice as well, because I hate ice physics in games. Not being able to control your like sliding about, not being able to control. Like you understand it, but it's just like ugh. Any ice section in the game. It's almost like old water levels. Water levels have gotten better over time, but water levels used to be fucking awful as well. Oh shit. Man's going full kaiju. Oh, look at those. A grasshopper. Oh, poor animals. Like, is there a sound effects going on? I know I'm complaining a lot right now. Apologies, guys. It's not like I'm not enjoying this episode. Like, it's been decent. I'm just again sharing my piece on ice abilities, which, like I said, just a kind of anti-action. It's the same thing with guns for me. Guns can be done pretty cool. There's that movie Wanted that I used to really like, where like the bullets would like curve and shit like that. I thought was really cool. But just straight up shooting someone, it's just like pressing the button. This is like a similar thing when you use ice abilities. It's just like, and you could say the same about fire, but I think fire is a little bit more kind of. I've seen it done more interestingly, and like it does have like nice movements and such. And I think they can. I think Bleach is a good example of their like Maru, I think it is. I think that kind of ability in Bleach is actually like there are some interesting things you can do with it, but just like freezing something is, in essence, is again it's a little bit boring in my opinion. So he's not got the most interesting weapon in a show where there is loads of really interesting weapons. So it's a bit of a shame for this guy here, but I just want to again make this point of the fucking sound effects in this show. Like, the animation looks good. But I said this during the last arc, the impacts just didn't feel there, and that's been a thing throughout this whole show for me. And I just want to listen to the sequence again, because I'm not hearing any impacts. I'm not hearing anything that would make me feel like something is being hit or something's like exploding or getting shot. Like nothing I hear is making like if you I just want to have an experiment here for a second. I want to close my eyes and listen to this. And I can hear a lot of the background music. I don't know if there's anything going on right now, but all I can hear is the background music. So I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to see what happened in those last 10 seconds. Moving about, shooting, which I couldn't even tell he was shooting. There is no sound effects on those shots. He's shooting a lot and he's moving from place to place. So yeah, that was like try that yourselves. Close your eyes and listen to this scene and tell me if you can hear anything actually happening, because the background music is so loud. And it doesn't even sound like there is sound effects. If there is, they're getting overpowered by the music. But there is no sound effects to any of the shots or anything. So you can't, like, because you can't hear that, it's also making you see it less impactful. I don't know what it, like, maybe, again, maybe it's just me, but I have such an issue with whoever does the sound effects on this show. Because I don't think that they've ever been really good. Like, in any of the fights. I brought this up in the last arc. None of the punches, none of the hits, none of the blasts felt any kind of weight behind them, especially sound wise, and that's such a big thing. This segment here sums that up perfectly because there is no sound effects going on other than the really loud background music. So whoever does music for the show is, in my opinion, not great. What is this? Muscle tears aren't all bad. Like your muscle, when you work out, your muscles have tiny tears that grow back stronger. Hence, you get stronger from lifting weights and such. Just depends on the severity of the tears, I guess. But that's not innately a bad thing. I'm pretty primal. Okay. I don't think we've got anything to worry about. I mean, his eyes look kind of crazed right now, don't they? But he's got a good nature. He's got good motivations. So I've got no worries about him kind of going too far here or anything. He does look a bit stoned though, doesn't he? Chikao. His eyes are red as fuck. Jesus. Yeah. That was a big area, wasn't it? Oh, he is going a bit berserk. That is not good. This guy's just so happened to not get hit by that. Yeah, everything around them did. I'll let you off. I'll let you off. That one. The sound effects are far more egregious. So yeah, I did kind of liken this to the Berserker armor last episode, and it is quite similar, isn't it? Oh god damn, his eyes are bleeding. That's never a fucking good sign. As a horror fan, there's kind of rules to bleeding. If you bleed out your mouth, you're pretty much. Ooh. I don't think he is. Fortunately for him. Yeah, it is quite a bit like the Berserker armor, isn't it? But yeah, sorry, I lost the point there. Yeah, as a horror fan, there's a couple rules to bleeding. If you're bleeding out your mouth, usually means that's like a fatal wound. I'd say like 90% of the time, the character's probably dead if they start like coughing up blood. And the eyes as well. If you start bleeding out your eyes, you're probably pretty likely to die as well in any situation. But I mean, that sounds like common sense, but and being a big horror fan, it's not a lot of common sense. You can get stabbed as many times as possible, like in the chest or where vital organs and stuff are, and absolutely like live. Like you see that a lot, like the Scream franchise and such. People getting butchered. So those are like the two main bleeding areas as a horror fan that you're pretty likely to die from. So also that really doesn't apply to anime. In fact, it's almost like the opposite in anime. I'm gonna make you jealous. Damn, he's strong. Nice, good save. See, that's why we need these guys. That's why we need to focus on these guys as well. So as much as they might not participate in the massive fights, they're still doing their bit. They've still got vital roles. My little Kohei, I think is the word for it. Raiden was the guy I was looking for earlier, by the way. He Reno kind of looks a little bit like Raiden from that other angle. Raiden from Metal Gear Solid, of course. Not Mortal Kombat. So yeah, again, apologies guys, but I can't help but the biggest standout for me this episode was just how shit the sound effects are. I can't believe it. I can't believe how it looks so good a lot of the time. This wasn't like the best looking episode or anything. It's not meant to be, of course, but it looked good. The voice acting's good. The story's decent. A nice little character focused day. Yeah, something that you might find insignificant, but for me, as a big thing, it's a massive thing for me because it really does create a sense of atmosphere, and again adds like a weight to what you're seeing and how you like feel it. If you feel a punch, like oh, and like a squint or something, a lot of that is down to like sound effects. If you just saw that on mute, it wouldn't be quite as effective. And as I kind of proved, if you guys want to try it, close your eyes during that segment I paused at, and you will not be able to tell what's going on. Whereas you do that with like a fight scene with fists and stuff, you can hear the punches and the jabs being thrown. You can hear the wind of it. You can hear the impact. Whereas it just blasted, like I wasn't even especially a fan, but it just blasted background music over top of the scene, almost like an AMV or some kind of like 2006 YouTube compilation. And yeah, just I'm no expert on this, but I just feel like the the music side of things in the series, I'm not even especially a big fan of the opening and ending this season. I'm really not a fan, hence I skipped them. Just feel like the music, they need to upgrade whoever is on that side of things. Next part, someone's probably gonna let me know in the comment section that this is some kind of like legend or massive industry name behind the music in this show. But I personally like that's the biggest flaw in the show for me. The music and the sound effects are just not good, and it's a big shame. But here we go. I like these little segments here. Little podcast. But yeah, I hate to be complaining so much, but it really stands out. So she was kind to you once and you think you love her. Quite funny how common that probably actually is. Also, are these the guys to be given advice on this kind of stuff? I think Hoshina would probably be better equipped to answer this than you two. I like how Reno looks in this. Really cute. $200. That he's a mysterious guy, isn't he? He's got a mysterious love life. Alright, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I hate to be complaining so much. In general, I really don't like having to complain, but it's just like it really is warranted, and it really did stand out today. I'm not going to say it again, but you know my thoughts. Other than that, though, pretty nice look into the characters. The redhead character here. He had a nice segment. Like I said, you need these kind of characters. You put these guys to the back, and then the stuff that like when there is lives on the line, when there is civilians and less strong people, and again general public and the foot soldiers, when they're on the line, if you don't have this, that will just like they'll feel worthless later down the line. So I think this is a good decision to actually focus on these guys. Love to see him help Reno towards the end here. Again, the animation wise, it looked decent. It wasn't anything as good as the last arc or anything in season 1, but still looked pretty good. There were some quite funny shots, to be honest with you, but I thought they were quite charming. I quite like, sometimes I quite like the not as good shots because they are a little bit charming in a way. It's almost like the Freeren, when Freeren was airing, there was like shots of Freeren that were like low quality and low resolution, but they're just like, even the bad stuff's good, and that was the case here. But yeah, just shame that the negatives really stood out today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section though, and please do try what I did try there, and let me know what you guys thought, because doing that really, like, it was like, yeah, the music was so chaotic you would have no idea what was happening in that scene. And it's not like you like it might seem stupid to people because you don't watch an anime without looking at the screen and seeing what's happening, but there's just so much that goes into making of a show. I think it's more apparent with movies, but in anime as well. I think it is equally as important in anime, considering there is less detail shown in the on the screen. So you do need the sound effects and music to be a bit better to create a bit more of an atmosphere. And yeah, it's just like, personally, I really don't think they've done a good job of that, especially this season. It didn't stand out quite as much as season 1, but it stood out so much this season. I felt the need to point it out multiple times. So yeah, again, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And I'll see you next week with episode 8.